So, hello, Internet. Hopefully, you enjoyed Yakuza Infinite Wealth that we were literally streaming up to about like 20 minutes ago.
Yep, that's a fun game and exactly what I expected.
I'm never gonna knock you for having a Twitch channel. I've lately all of my YouTube has been watching a dude who's from Minnesota play MLB The Show.
I
Yeah.
I think I've been like not necessarily influenced. I think I have seen that channel like show up. Is he similar to like your college football one where it's like, "Oh, I'm going to see if I can turn all of my players into chickens," or something like that?
No, he basically just goes through like here's the exciting things that are coming up, here are the exciting cards to get, because this one's more or less MLB The Show is you're not playing the game if you're not playing the online like team, like the ultimate, for their lack of a better term, their ultimate team, although they do theirs a lot better. And you don't need to buy anything on theirs because you get rewards you get the best reward system for playing.
Well, at least if you play the mobile game Brown Dust, your cards are sexy anime ladies and not just baseball players. So
Right.
I think Brown Dust has something on MLB The Show there.
Has the advantage.
Is it trying to is it the pen? Like back from when we were really little? Like, oh, if I click it, her clothes come off. Oh, and now it's back on.
No, their clothes don't come off in this,
nothing
but
to
they
see
just do animations to have the camera like right up their ass. It's really it's really concerning.
There's plenty of games that I mean we do watch wrestling, and that was only every WWE camera angle from basically once our fandom started to up into what, 2 years ago.
Is WrestleMania this week?
It's next week.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is night 2 literally Easter?
No, night 1. Yeah, night 2 is literally Easter.
Oh, so it is. I thought
it's not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, okay then.
Yep.
Easter is on 4/20.
Weird. I'm confused.
It's funny.
It
only comes once in a while. It's a very special day.
And speaking of confusing, we watched Outlaw Star for Animesplaining. Well, that's not very confusing. It's actually pretty rote.
Pretty linear at this point.
Not confusing considering we watched it last month.
It may be, in fact, the most understandable anime that we've. It's actually not.
No.
What is the most understandable anime that we watched? Obviously, it's Redline, I think, but.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I've been meaning to rewatch that one. I feel like there's a lot I've missed with Redline. Like I might change my rating on Redline.
Probably one of the Star Wars visions.
Yeah,
one of those ones probably would be understandable. They don't have that much time to tell that much story, so they have to make sense.
Or Gundam. Gundam works too.
That's fair.
Gundam: The Origin is pretty self-explanatory as I refer back to like our Lost episode because I never uploaded the part 2 on that.
not the 08th MS team.
08th MS team. No, that because that has the terrible ending. Like the episode that shouldn't be there. Don't you wonder what happened to the 2 worst characters in this? No, I don't. Can you just end it an episode earlier?
This doesn't need an epilogue. We're fine.
I mean, this goes back to fantasy bookers. Obviously, Tiger Mask is the most understandable anime we have watched.
Pretty straightforward.
Like
Tiger Mask, Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
It's got some They're pretty straightforward animes out there. This could be the best ones.
Yeah, but we
haven't watched One Punch Man still.
We have not watched One Punch Man still, and the reason for that is because there are so many. We might do that after we finish Demon Slayer, because I feel that that's enough shonen anime to make you fully understand.
I need to cleanse myself of this Demon Slayer and this popular culture and at least like get something that's slightly more mainstream, but I like much better.
I would say that
What
Demon
is
Slayer
more-
is more mainstream than One Punch Man at this point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
The cosplays are insane. That's how I gauge things by cosplays. Who's cosplaying what? How much of the cosplay am I seeing? It's this one. It's Demon Slayer. Just go to OnlyFans. It'll tell you.
But anyway, what is your opinion? I'll start with Marlon of the second half of Outlaw Star.
This is the show that it should have been. Honestly, I feel like I'm watching a completely different show. That first half was so slow, and now that it's picked up, it's exactly what I was expecting it to be, which is just Star Wars meets Firefly meets The Fifth Element. Every single show that ripped it off afterwards, except Star Wars. It's mostly The Fifth Element.
Joey, do you agree, or did you like the second half more than the first?
I did like, well, let me say this. That one episode where he like, is going into the duel and his emotion buildup, that might be the best thing we have watched in all the time we've done this show. That episode alone was probably like going through his motivations, going through his emotions, and just his reaction, and just in how he acts once the duel is over, and he feels more cold and callous because of all he's gone through. Like that episode was fantastic. Then
that one stuck out to me.
Hot Springs is goofy, like we said. We'll play it off. It's comedy. I mean, it's like it's raunchy comedy, but it's comedy. The ending, just like the voice acting by that time was getting like so phoned in. It's like, I mean, just tell me that you're reading off a notebook, like, and with nothing else. And then all of a sudden, it's like it's like the end of Thor: Love and Thunder, where they go to like ask the ultimate question from whatever god is like, and while they're fighting this dude in like the Lawnmower Man world, like it was weird.
Yeah, it gets like super Fifth Element at the end. It gets very Luke Besson. It gets very just existential, and I like that about it. I feel like a lot of shows tried to knock it off, but never reached that scale, which kind of makes me wonder how Firefly would have ended if it was given a chance. Because this ends on the other side of where it started, with a giant space kaiju is the best way I could describe it.
You're already in space. Why do you need to like act like you're in some weird virtual world? Like,
because that's the whole point of the whole. It's unfortunately that simulation theory that I know you guys hate, which is what it is. It's actually explained that everything created by God is in a computer, and your whole reality is just an illusion. That's the idea behind it. So they kind of went to see God and found out everything was cyberspace, and they just had to deal with that reality. So they died and came back because they were re-uploaded back into reality. So it's just everything is an illusion.
Maiden of the ley line. I demand that you give me power. Best I can do is make your ship really big.
Yeah.
I made your ship really big.
That pissed me off about the ending there. There were a lot of head scratchers in there. Like they go all that way, and he only wishes to just be with Melfina and have more adventures. So why did you come here? What's the point of this? You just kind of wish to just keep doing the same thing over. You didn't add more money or anything. You just got a bigger ship.
Well, technically, you wished for a second season, and the answer was no.
Yeah. That was it. He wished for a second season, and it just didn't happen.
Best we can do is a spin-off that no one will watch.
Do they ever make... Is there ever an episode where they do make money? Like, they do come out ahead? Because the one that enters my brain right now is the one where, like, hey, we have all of this metal that we're wanted. Yeah, but it's low grade. So after costs, we're still coming out at 0 or below.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
it's the same rules as Cowboy.
I gotta go back to my job.
Yep, they just keep taking out loans with Fred Lowe. But we'll take. But since this is a more episodic half, like the first one is definitely arcs. Like here's 3 episodes of this, here's 3 episodes of this, and kind of moving forward. Before I get into the differences between like the actual comic and what was changed for the actual anime series, guess just for the first episode that we had was the bomb scare. Basically, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
The exact same plot.
Yeah.
So, Joey, do you
What if
have
rat
any
ears?
opinion on the Mickey Mouse bomber
No,
ho hum like
no.
nothing
Like,
episode?
I mean, cool, it was
I
there.
would-
I think it was
I wouldn't say it was
like,
ho hum. I feel like when they finally started gelling together as a team, so that's when the show actually feels like it picked up, like it was a new season or something, and they even have a new ending, closing credits theme to like kind of signify that. So it feels like sort of the moment in Guardians of the Galaxy, the team first forms together in the prison during the riot. It feels like that. Like, all right, now we actually have a show on our hands. At least for me, anyway.
Yep, and then we get into the best episode of the entire series, which is when they introduce the On 10-7, who are the K Pirates, like, main heavies, even though, like, more than half of them go out like punks in the finale.
Yeah.
But,
What's the name? What's the team in Demon Slayer? What are the bad guys called? Because it's just that.
oh,
Again.
the demons.
it's like the upper moons and lower moons. I'm trying. The five Kiski.
Yeah, that's it. It's just those
In
guys.
Demon Slayer?
Yeah, that you know how they're all
Yeah.
ranked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they-
ranked, but I thought it was just like the upper five, lower five. I don't know.
No, they go by
It's,
name,
it's
but
the
yeah,
same structure.
but yeah, and then most of them go out like punks because Mugen Train ends and
Yeah.
Muzan Kibutsuji is like, no, I don't need any of you lower ones.
That's what it felt like here. They kind of got one-shotted because he had kind of the golden eye gun. He had like the most powerful gun that you just needed one bullet and it killed everyone in the most gross way possible.
It wasn't
I was a
gross.
little
Just
disappointed in that.
just poured them into a black hole, right? Like it was.
You didn't see what happened to the one girl?
Yeah, the one lady like
Like,
turns
it ripped
inside
her
out.
skin off, and she got spaghettified like on the spot. It was crazy. Like, oh shit, that's what it does.
I do hate how it slowly travels towards you. So everyone he shoots just thinks it's a joke. Like, what am I doing? And then it's like, oh, you got me. It's
a
like,
miniature
what
black
if I
hole.
just sidestep over here? Like, ew.
One,
Like,
unless it's like the number 13 or whatever that he hits Harry McDougal with, where it just like negates out that just blasts him with wind.
oh,
Yeah, I get like a bitch.
Pretty much all of the villains go out like nothing. That's one of the problems. Even Hazanko, for the most part, like doesn't really put up too much of a fight. But
Well, because they had 3 episodes to do it, and everyone went out like that anyway. Like, you had all this time and build up, and you still like, all right, he's gone.
yeah, there are only 2 members of the On 10-7 that actually seem to have episodes that are focused on them, and they seem to be big deals. The first one is Shimi, or Fei Long, in this first one, where, yeah, it's established like it's a duel. He has his underling come in, who basically acts like he can, gets a draw on him, and it makes Gene really depressed. And the episode works because it's as we've seen Gene be like a shithead for the entire series up till now, and then it's just like, no, this is serious. Get serious. And then even in the span of getting serious, he just takes out every one of the main cast.
yeah.
Yeah. Solid episode.
Yep. You only survive because he just wants to get out of here.
And that's why that's to me why it works. He like does not he does the lazy carefree attitude to everybody, but he doesn't let himself be vulnerable. And this is the time where he's lashing out and making himself vulnerable. And that's why this works. And then just like, and again, like that's why I love the ending of it so much, where he just like takes the shotgun, and if I remember right, the dude is pleading with him, and he's just like no, like you've gotten all of this out of me, so you're gonna pay for it. And I just like the callousness that he gets at the character at the end of that episode. Because I mean, how else would you react? I mean, really, he is the everyman in that episode. Like that is the most humanity we've seen in any of these at least of this show easily.
Yeah,
So.
I would say it's the best episode of Outlaw Star. I would be hard pressed to put it above like the two-parter that Mugen had in Samurai Champloo,
Yeah.
or like the
one where they try to hijack him back towards the pirate ship.
yeah,
Yeah, and that
He
girl
blows it up.
betrays them.
or like the trial in 08th MS Team. Like I think there are better episodes out there, but yeah, in terms of emotional stakes and being like a really, really tight 30 minutes to establish all this, it is up there. It is a 7 out of 7 episode that surpasses even like some of the better Demon Slayer episodes.
I would this. You could make a movie off this episode alone.
You could make a movie out
Like
of
you
a
could
lot
make
of these episodes.
Yeah, a lot of these could have easily been 2-parters, but it kind of like crammed them in such a way that they still managed to make it work. I'm surprised.
Because that was the worst thing about that last episode we've been talking about is that like I'll sit there and think about Firefly and like why wasn't something like this made into an episode? Obviously they didn't have time. It was canceled very quickly. But what could have been?
Right, that's what it made me think of a lot, especially if Serenity. I feel like Serenity was absolutely how that season was supposed to end, and I can't help but wonder if they had like stretched out episodes, what we could have gotten with that. And this just made me think of that. Like, damn, if Joss Whedon actually had the budget to do what he wanted, what would we have got?
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Han Solo movie should have been, honestly. I'm disappointed it's not just Outlaw Star.
Ooh, I would agree with that, actually. That would be
way
fun.
more whimsical.
Hell, you could do that as Star Wars can make this show. Like, you could make a Han Solo series on Disney. They have the budget. And
I just wish Disney wasn't in charge. I've fallen off so much with Star Wars because their shows are just not living up to the potential. Like none of them.
I would agree, but it's just a license to print money. Like if they take a loss, who cares? Because we have these 6 other projects. Like everyone's going off about Snow White. Yes, Snow White lost, but Captain America was just out. It made money. What are they have Thunderbolts coming out. More than likely that will make money. Not to mention they just did Moana 2, made $1 billion. They did, what was the other animated one? That Inside Out 2 was the highest grossing movie of the year. Deadpool 3 is still them. Like they're still have license to print money. Yeah. They're not going.
That's true. Like, well, I'm sure it'll make money. It's more of my faith in the quality at this point. Like at this point, what they've done of Star Wars so far, ever since the Disney acquisition, has been like, okay, I'm out. I just keep watching the old ones. I'm good. It's not even that they're egregiously bad. Is that they don't live up to the potential. They're so dull. And then you watch something that's supposed to be a knockoff like this, like Firefly, like Outlaw Star, and it's like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing with less money. How is that possible? Like, you have the budget, but your script is just... I'm not watching Skeleton Crew.
It is a bit of a shame that Production IG, who made Ghost in the Shell, is currently making like 2 of what's considered to be the top anime out there, because they make Solo Leveling and they make Kaiju. So otherwise, like, you obviously have connections with Production IG because they made a Star Wars thing for you. So just say like, hey, do you want to just see if you can remake an Outlaw Star for us? But because I don't think this,
and you can make it. You can make it standalone. You don't you can make it part of the Star Wars universe to put your brand on it, but you don't have to make it Han Solo. You don't have to. I mean, you can put the aliens out in the world and call it Star Wars adjacent. Great, but that's. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, myself, like I feel Guardians of the Galaxy is the best Marvel property. Why? Because you have the most creative license with it. It's adjacent. You can believe it's part of it, but you can do whatever the hell you want with it, and in my mind, you're not breaking any rules of what the universe was supposed to be.
You have the most creative license with it, and also you have a director who's willing to actually have a voice of what he wants to do. It's similar to why I really like Multiverse of Madness. It's because that is a Sam Raimi movie. And I do not like this stuff, especially with the Russos getting so heavy into AI bullshit that it's like, oh
Oh
well,
no.
you just want to put this through a series of filters and just make anything out of anything and just give us AI slop. When in actuality, it's like, no, we just want to have good stories from good directors and kind of move on from there. It's why I'm really hoping that Superman
you still gotta obey the formula a little bit. The first Guardians is a little more formulaic, and then he branches out in 2, and then 3 is a James Gunn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Full
like
blown swears.
there's still going to be some where you gotta listen, like you gotta put Kevin Feige in the studio and kind of listen to what he has to say. But after some point, yeah, when you prove yourself, then or when people like what you're doing and they want more of it, then you're going to get more license.
There's like a line between that because we also got Taika Waititi in there, and Love and Thunder was a Taika Waititi ass movie, and it should not have been. We needed someone to rate him in on that one.
Yeah, you also need to. I mean, you also needed to rate in Patty Jenkins on Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman 84 is almost an unwatchable mess.
Was that what it is? Wait, so was the studio intervention more in 84 or in the first one?
In the first
like,
one, there was
Patty Jenkins.
In the studio, the studio interfered more with the first Wonder Woman. In Wonder Woman 84, they kind of said, make the movie you want to make."
Oh no, she Taika Waititi herself. Well, first off, everything is pink, and then it bombs. Gold and shiny. I got what she was going for, but yeah, no, that did not work. But it was not pleasant.
One major difference between the first half of Outlaw Star and the second half is the second half definitely allows itself to get horny, mainly for Aisha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god, the wrestling episode is what we come to first, isn't it?
I love the wrestling episode.
That was a fun episode.
So goofy. And it's just like that was camera shots galore. That's what I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
anime is gonna end.
When Jean's on the ground, it's just tits in the upper half.
Or look who I'm wrestling, boing. It was like,
you can tell who their target demographic was.
You can tell, but you can also tell that this is the 90s, because in a land where we have like WWE wrestlers like Rhea Ripley and things like that, it's like, oh yeah, she has a pretty face, yeah, but look, she's a bodybuilder, and most of us are so.
Yeah, I'm glad we all had the same response. But in the 90s, like, ew, she's not skinny. I need the flattest butt possible.
I mean, granted, Fred Lowe is gay. Like, it's very much established that he is a gay man.
You think he would be attracted to the muscles, but it's that she's a woman.
Just going to give her another 5-year challenge or whatever, and hope that she doesn't face off against the species that's literally werewolves.
But you bring up a good point. It's the future. Why can't he just say he's gay? For like
because it's the 90s future.
Because it's still a product of its time.
It's still a secret. Like, just say you're gay. There's like a lizard lady like right down the street. Being up like a regular dude.
That's the product of its time argument, right?
That can't be the line.
But any other notable ones? Because the other notable episode that I want to point out is the Prison Break episode, because that could have been an arc on its own. That
was really good. I can't even have a spacing on how many. There was a lot of episodes. They're all good, but yeah, that one sticks out. There's the Moby Dick one. There's the one that's just straight up Moby Dick, and it,
is that the dude that comes up and say like, "Just call me old man"?
Yeah, the pirate.
Yeah. And he like flies into like the big shrimp's mouth.
I hated the dialogue. I get what they're trying to do, but I hated the dialogue in that so much. Every time they would talk to him, just call me old man, and I'll tell you about my days. And and so what if I betrayed my old team or blah 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 blah? I'm going to get this treasure. But that's where
Gina's soul. It did. It succeeded.
But
it felt bad.
Like again, the ending was funny. Okay, I'm still here.
Yep.
The the ending was funny because that's where they're like, oh, like, did we get all this treasure like he said we would? Is like, we did, but it's very low grade, so basically worthless and after expenses.
This guy died for nothing.
You gotta go to your job tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
after we had a
poor
fish
Alistair, like,
rip one of our ship's arms off, the most expensive ship around.
See, there was also the episode where they had another ship of arms, and the arms freaking flew off into their own ships. And they just had to contend with that for a whole episode. That was fun.
Okay, so now we get into some of the I'll go into some of the changes that were made with the comic, because I actually did research this time because I felt like it. And also since the manga is so different for Outlaw Star, even in the chapters that I've read, it always like kind of amused me that like Outlaw Star as a show is more like kid friendly by comparison to like the original manga, which is very much, it feels like a heavy metal like type thing. But
yeah,
here are some
like it should.
Here are some of the changes. One, Melfina doesn't wake up until the last third of the chapters. Like she's in a box for like 2/3 of the 2/3 of the story.
Not even a character.
Hilda is also around up until like the last third.
Damn it, I like her. I appreciated that.
And I guess she's more morally gray in the comic, where like she starts to become obsessed with the galactic ley line, and she's kind of the one who's sort of acting as the supplementary villain, because the McDougalls do not exist in the comic. They are a anime creation specifically. And I like the McDougalls more than I like Kazanko.
Because we needed a direct antagonist type thing.
Yeah.
Or at least an overarching antagonist.
Yeah.
Although I like the idea of someone on the team being an antagonist. That's kind of interesting and cool. I would have been at least like 2 arcs to that.
Hilda's the badass assassin one, right?
No.
The eye patch.
Yeah, Hilda's the one with the eye patch who dies within like the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Who's the badass assassin one?
That's Suzuka.
Suzuki.
Okay.
Suzuka.
who gives both her entire backstory and her resolution in about 5 minutes in the second to last episode.
Like 30 seconds, really. Just get a clip notes. It's like, oh, that's why you're here. All right, cool, great.
I'm here because I'm going after this guy specifically, and we're going to fight now, and I win. that is the end of Suzuka's story. But I don't know. On the one hand, I like the McDougalls as villains. On the other hand, you could probably make it a little bit more, not necessarily realistic, but at least a little more interesting if you literally have everything up to it, and then you have the like little space race arc, and then just Gwen Con figures out that no, the Outlaw Star is the XGP. It is a very distinct looking ship.
Yeah.
And
that's tell by the arms. The dangly arms.
But that's neither here nor there. And then you have the on 10-7, of which we... Oh, I forgot the cat episode. Everyone forgets the cat episode. Joey, what's your opinion on Jim Hawking being sad?
Oh, yeah. I vaguely remember it, but yeah.
Yeah, suddenly the show becomes Gundam. It becomes about the horrors of battle. I remember legitimately being very sad at that episode. In this episode, I'm just like, I don't care.
Just get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, even the filler on this one felt like it was a step above the first half of the show entirely. With the long arcs, it just felt like a slog to get through, while these were so compact and succinct that it's like, oh, well, I guess that's over. It was like eating potato chips. And almost you can watch this in any order except for the one through line they had going through it, the whole, galactic ley line thing.
I agree with you, unless it's like it could be recency bias, but I do feel like where I can barely remember episodes from the first part, but like there are 3 episodes that definitely stick out in this one at least.
Is it because the
Yeah.
overall goal is there and much bigger than what the overall goal is in the previous episodes? Because the previous episodes, like, you have an arc that's entirely based on, we just need to get this ship to lift off.
Yeah, I
where,
feel like the first half is pretty much just about getting to the premise of the show. When I just do it, just get what you're getting at already.
And
It's like kind of how
leaving
the
out
first 45 minutes of every superhero movie is getting to the origin. Like, I don't give a shit. Just give them the powers. just
and
so
motivating your
Spider-Man.
main character. That's the other
Yeah.
problem with part of all season 1. And I get the build up because, again, like you said, Tony, the emotional moments land harder probably because of it. But you're not finding Jin's motivations in the first part of season 1. You're basically just trying to get him motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's the kid's name again? Ray,
Jim.
right?
What? No, the kid
What's
is
the kid's name?
the kid is Jim.
Like Jack?
Jim.
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 Oh. So yeah, like he's upping, and there's way less. Like he's not in as much of this season. Didn't feel like, at least the last 2 episodes, he's not in. Didn't feel like he's in
What
much.
about it? He got to meet a girlfriend and all this stuff. I forgot what happened to her.
She got murdered.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah.
They killed her is what happened to her.
Forgettable episode, really. Poor Jim.
No, and it has a cool little concept of like the cats go into the arms and it flies in as 3 different ships. It's neat, but yeah. The problem is that character, like the girl member of the On 10-7, is like has the personality of like a goldfish, like like doesn't have any sort of like discernible personality, so we don't care for her the way like Fei Long talking in a bar, like it's like, oh, I care.
That guy was cool.
That this character makes sense to me. I understand this guy's motivation. I understand why in the end he does not kill all of these people because he just wants to get out of this at this point. He's tired.
Outlaw Buff Bagwell. So who came to mind when at first I was, hey, he made Buff Bagwell in the bar. I used to be where you were, kid. With a top hat. Continue.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention. So, Joey, there is a spin-off of Outlaw Star. Didn't get a second season, but did get a spin-off that centers on the Angel Links ship. The ship where they have the aside, where they actually meet, like, the actual government power, the Space Force. Do you have any opinion?
That was a good episode.
Do you have any opinion of fascist lizards?
I think they even used. Correct me if I'm wrong. They used the term fascist in the episode too, right?
Gene calls him a fascist lizard.
She kind of is.
That was like, okay, there's a line that's definitely ahead of its time there, because it's but I mean that was all that really blended together there too. It was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a problem. There's a problem on the cop ship. They solve it. They move on.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie. That and the Prison Break episode are just Guy Ritchie movies. They had a plan. The plan went off without a hitch. Success. Episode over.
Speaking of the Prison Break episode, so basically he has Gwen Con manipulate the compass so that it's like super magnets, essentially. Because the one magnet like goes into the ground and the other lets him fly. They tried to explain it. I'm still very confused.
They said it really fast. I don't know. Way to get it out. This doesn't make any sense. Just say it really fast. They won't listen. We're going to rewind.
Maybe I'd watch that one again. But again, all these ones.
Yeah. So I've been watching a few of the shows in advance because Joey gave us a lot of work to do for the next month. But
okay, why am I to blame for that?
because you chose
Like,
this.
I want to watch more.
But
I want to
Yeah,
watch.
Tony approved.
But so I watched 3 episodes of Solo Leveling today, which is
Okay.
a like dyed in the wool, like we are using RPG physics and mechanics in this anime and trying to be really edgy about it. And it's all right, but modern anime, and we see this with Kaiju number 8 as well, feels the need to over-explain absolutely every single little bit of its lore because it's made for the fans. Whereas Outlaw Star, just like, hey, here's a thing. How does it work? Oh.
Yeah. You figure
You're
it
here.
out.
Why would we explain it to you? Like,
You have eyes, right?
we just do this shit every day. Yeah.
And I think that confidence in these like early anime, because Oath MS Team is the same way, Samurai Champloo is the same way, Cowboy Bebop's the same way. You have all of these shows where like they feel the need to just say like, hey, we are lived in space, so why would we just over explain our lore all the time? And I think that works out a little bit better than modern anime, to put on my old anime fan hat.
Which is completely correct. It leaves something to the imagination, so it leaves something to think about and fantasize about once the show is over. Like, what do you think that was about? Where do you think this comes from? And you get to kind of like create and write your own lore and your own Wikipedia articles. If the show just tells you, it's like, oh, I'm just listening to a fact sheet being read off to me, and I don't really need that. Game of Thrones didn't do that, and that's why it's a success. They don't explain the whole history of Westeros. Like, you get glimpses and bits here, and you're like, what do you mean there was a large giant in this era? And then you see a giant in later seasons, like, holy shit, there actually is a giant. You pepper it in, and I miss that about TV.
So let's talk about the finale, because the show was supposed to get a second season, but from the sound of it, they were able to like get the story completed to basically where the manga ended. The last 3 episodes still feel rushed to me.
Really?
There's no big like climatic fight scenes. Just they merge powers, and then they fight this dude that escaped from the black hole gun,
which is really cool. That was terrifying.
Then in the lawnmower man, like while he's trying to talk to God, like it.
Yeah. Then he turns into Galactus. His one wish. Anything he wants in the whole universe. I want to be a giant man of big arms so I could fight their ship. And that's what he gets. And that's how the show ends. And they fly into his mouth.
And this is where I think not having the McDougals would have helped this, is that Hazanko really does feel like, oh, we just need a villain. Because he's just a dude with a mask who's introduced, and then it's only like in the last 3 episodes where it's just like, oh, off screen I figured out how to open this without help.
Yep, he's just that powerful.
We just have these old guys putting spikes in a thing.
My favorite was the scientist at the end who was like, well, I got what I wanted, bye. And that was the end of it.
I am Data now. See ya.
That's how I figured it would end. Everyone got their wish and would just be off in a merry way. But that one guy wanted revenge because reasons. So they needed a big climactic battle, like Joey said. So they got one, even if it didn't make a lick of sense to me. Like none. I don't know why that guy needed revenge. He could have had anything he wanted in the whole universe. Became a giant blue ship. All right. Let's go with that.
He didn't want revenge. He wanted to overtake the Tendo King, who they never explain who it is or what it is. So it's
he says he cares about power.
Yeah,
like he just wants power. That's all he simply says.
And then he tried
to one girl and saying like offering her the same thing.
No, and I feel like it could have gone for at least one more episode, because I feel like if you have a character who's able to make a wish for anything, for something, and is able to get that wish, then you at least need to give us like an all is lost episode. before you change things up, and instead it's literally in the same episode that you just have like, oh, Gene wins. He's able to utilize the power of love and friendship to defeat Hazanko's like tentacles.
Right.
Then we just had to fly it to his mouth.
Yep, and then they get the angel wings.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the angel wings is like, oh, subtle. Well done.
It's on.
It was the 90s.
Yeah, it's on our.
How
little...
cool would it have been, like, if all of a sudden, like, he gets his wish, wants to be something powerful, and is like ultimate revenge, like puts basic, like he becomes the one primary love interest, like she becomes the ultimate baddie, and she has to fight Jin. Like that would have been cool, but.
Yeah, I think.
But alas, it is the 90s, and she is a woman.
Yeah, I think you would need to lead up to that, unfortunately, because Melfina doesn't have a lot of personality as well.
Otherwise, it's just Daenerys turning bad in Game of Thrones, and you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Why?
She's your dad. Duh. Like, why would she do all these other good things along the way? So yeah, you are actually right on that one.
It's like, no, we want Melfina to be the love interest because Suzuka's too uptight and Aisha's too forward. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, too forward. I mean, Aisha still kicked Jin out of the hot spring when she was.
Did she?
No, she didn't kick him out of the hot spring.
Him.
I thought she did.
He ran, but she wanted him to stay around.
Oh.
She presented herself.
Yeah. She was like, hey, I'm bathing in lava. Do you want to stick around?
Which makes me wonder, if it wasn't for the lava, would he have stuck around? They found a pretty good excuse.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that. Why was she standing in lava?
Because she
the regular hot spring wasn't hot enough.
Yeah, the hot spring wasn't hot enough.
She had to go find lava because she had super strong skin.
Oh my. Okay. That's right. And all of a sudden, and I'm like, well, I mean, is he in lava just because he just trekked through the snow to like somehow find this place?
Well, it's a hot spring. They're on a mountain.
While he's in his underwear.
Yeah,
your government issued swimsuit on this planet. How can you not like this episode? It's hilarious.
It's just Porky's. Like to me, it's just Porky's.
Or they flood the train car with hot springs water.
Because Bastard is just like, Bastard isn't funny. It's just like, grab your ass. Want to go? And she says yes, and then you play the porn music and you go through the scene and then it's done. Whereas this one, like everything is there. Like, is it crude at times and raunchy? Yes, but I mean it's there for the humor. Like you're there seeing the women naked in the hot spring because that's the joke. Like that, it's that you're putting Jin and Jim, like the other kid, the kid who's like getting surrounded by women. Oh, aren't you gonna be? And then he's like surrounded by boars for whatever reason. Like, why did that happen?
And once again, this has kind of the angry Japanese tourism is expanding. It's like our only market in the recession but we're all really mad about it. Portion where it's like, oh yeah, they don't call us priests anymore, so you buy something. Just has this little merch cart. Oh no, I think I think the best Hot Springs episode of anything that I've ever seen is Outlaw Star. It is hilarious.
Easily,
I like the rope trap that they do the full comedy comes in threes. Not gonna fall for that one again. Yeah. Shit.
Just full on Looney Tunes, but of cleavage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, all the way. It wasn't just cleavage. Like the full frontal on a couple of those scenes.
If we just don't draw it, then we get away with it. And
but again, Just
They're just Ken dolls down there. Like, see, it's legal. We can do that.
you're the
fine.
pervert.
Right, you're imagining it.
So in terms of arcs, are you sad that Aisha doesn't have an arc? Because all she gets is a final boss to face who turns into a tornado, and then she just wins.
Yep. She's the Rocket Raccoon of the team. She doesn't need an arc. She's fine. Each member is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, easily.
Ask that one more time, because either my screen froze or your screen froze.
So it was your screen. You just left. Now you're back.
Yeah. What I asked is, do you care that Aisha didn't have an arc at all? Like her final boss is literally just a dude who turns into a tornado and then he dies.
Oh, like I mean, she has the arc, and like, I mean, hers is just like trying to make a life for herself where she doesn't work the normal, just like daily grind for nothing. Like, I mean, she's the waitress, right? She's like just trying to find her way and just trying to make a buck. That's
her whole arc is becoming an outlaw and being okay with becoming an outlaw, which she does by then. She just rejoins the team instead of doing like what? She was like working at a Sonics or something.
Yeah. She should have been sad that, you know, the giant ship full of her people just got destroyed.
Oh yeah. I guess they're both forgetful people.
As they all cheer, it's like, oh, they're dead now. we don't speak of the Kataro ship.
He's fine. He'll be over it.
And
uh-oh.
Are you frozen?
We can hear you at least.
Up. Maybe. Up. No, you're
that one bar.
You're popping in.
Is that me that keeps freezing?
I think so.
Because it looks like you both freeze, but then I'm like, I'm the only one on, so I'm like, I doubt the problem is both of you. It's probably me.
Yeah, my connection at least is coming in pretty well.
Yeah. And you're back.
In case I freeze again, I will give this show a 3.5.
Spoilers. Here's my rating.
Spoiler.
Well, the last question that I have is just what do you feel that the Harry McDougal portion works at all? Because that I failed to realize in this second watch. One, I completely forgot that he goes out like a punk. Kazanko just like bends all of his limbs and crunches him.
Who's the one who? Which of the brothers is the one that kind of has like the pseudo crush?
That is Harry.
Yeah, it's Harry. Yeah, because of like boy Melfina. No, I have her powers.
Yeah, the one who becomes a cyborg.
Yep.
No, like, I mean, again, could they have gone more places with it? I'm sure. And if this was if Joss Whedon had his chance to remake it in Firefly, I think he would have done it better. But that's
he would have made it more rapey. Who are we kidding? Harry would be way more rapey if Joss Whedon got hold of him.
Fair.
He only hinted at the rapey in this one.
But yeah, so you gave it a 3.5, Joey, out of 7. Our scale that's stolen from Super Eye Patch Wolf, where 7 is...
I mean, the dual episode gets at least a 6.5, but like Tony said, like 7 out of 7, 6.5. But the show as a whole, because of it, like you said, the ending feels rushed and it felt lazy. Because again, all the voice acting at the end was like, oh no, Jin, look over there, you're a bastard over there. Repeat the whole thing.
Just like cards in different directions.
This emotionless, like nothing for these moments that are supposed to land.
I can't. So I sympathize a little bit with the voice acting in the 90s because it was literally done by 3 companies. Like everything coming in from Japan either went to 4Kids Entertainment, it went to Sunrise, or it went to ADV. Like it went one of 3 places, and that's it.
Well, maybe like you said, I think you said even about, was it the first season of this show, or maybe the season or whatever show we watched before this, or in Bastard, where it was one of the two that you said like the voice acting is not great in this.
Bastard
I
is
didn't
the
know
one
that.
where the voice acting is really bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which I feel like it was on purpose, but that's just me. I feel like it's 4D chess parody. You're just not seeing it. It's just parody on another level.
And
This one, like,
current voice acting also has a problem where since now it's all but done by a single company, it's all done by Crunchyroll pretty much, because Crunchyroll owns Funimation and everything else. Now you just hear the same voice in every single anime.
Everyone's Matt Mercer.
as long as you don't phone it in, I guess. Like I don't mind John Cena being in the main event at WrestleMania as long as he just like gives me something new, which so far he is. Then I'm okay with it.
Cody Rhodes fighting the man who he wishes he was.
I saw that. I was like, yep. Great.
So Marlon, what is your score out of 7?
I'm leaning towards a 5. I was at a 4 before, but I'm thinking 5. The second half of the show really saves it, and it's very action heavy, and I feel like that's part of why we can't remember many details, because it would be like 10 minutes of plot and then just action for like 10, 12 straight minutes, just explosions and noise in the background, which I don't know. I found enjoyable. I feel like the show was funny, the space show it was meant to be, and I saw why it competed with Dragon Ball Z for a second there.
I'm going to be the high score then, because I give this a 6. And that's exemplary for the genre. Reason is because Cowboy Bebop is the 7. It is the 7 out of 7 like space show that exists. Cowboy Bebop is basically perfect. And Outlaw Star is a lesser version of Cowboy Bebop that's more fantastical. I think it is much better than other sci-fi anime that came out in its time. And I think it's been better than other sci-fi anime that has come out since. So I think it still serves to be something that like creators should learn from and take things from, and that current creators have actively stolen things from, as Joss Whedon steals the entire starting plot of this for Firefly.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into the Fifth Element because there's a lot of similarities there too, like crazy similarities.
Well, this came out after Fifth Element, right? Fifth Element was like 95.
It was like 98. It was like the same year, I think. That or 99. I'm gonna look it up because Fifth Element was not that early. It was late 90s.
Yeah, this was 96, and then Angel Links was 98 or 99.
Oh shit! Fifth Element was 97. So it's just a weird coincidence. They're so similar.
People just like their like weird creature space shows.
Well, that and the whole thing of the whole
not anymore. Otherwise, what's the dumb movie that's always on frickin' Sci-Fi that I'll see it? It's on randomly during the day.
Is it the?
It's with Cara Delevingne. And,
that's Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yeah, Valerian.
Which also echoes that. Yeah, it's the same. They could be in the same universe, as far as I'm concerned.
This show did remind me of that, although that movie did terrible. But
I enjoyed it. But yeah, Valerian, Fifth Element, same director, Outlaw Star might as well be the same guy to me. It's just animated.
Alrighty, so I'm getting out the Crunchyroll Anime Awards are on the 14th, so they will be done by the time we actually get to the next episode for May here. But because I am just a glutton for punishment, considering one of these shows,
the punishment.
I am going to. So
this genre.
Here's the thing: everyone wants to give everyone. As far as I'm concerned, should give each of these anime the Swordfish Soup test, which is 2 episodes. I'm not even asking for the anime test, which they say is 3. 3 is a waste of your time for a lot of anime.
I think 3 is a good number, but that's just.
I will say if you like the concept, feel free to watch more. I'm going to try to watch the entire first season of each and every one of these, which is 12 episodes. mainly because we finished one. But what we are doing is we are going to.
So you're going to try to watch 72 episodes in a month?
Yes.
All right.
When you say it like that, I sound like a crazy person. And granted, I've already done 12 of them because Kaiju number 8 is in the contention, and we've already watched it.
It's a good show.
But what we're doing is we're doing a pastiche of the Anime of the Year contenders to truly like have an opinion of each and every one of these. So Anime of the Year contenders are Dan to Dan, which I've already seen like 3 episodes.
Damn it!
I'll give it a
2 seconds of that shit too.
I'll go past 3 episodes on that one. I'll watch the whole thing.
Delicious in Dungeon, which is on Netflix.
Right.
That is Joey, it is an RPG type thing. It's like a fantasy thing where they need to get down to fight a dragon and they don't have enough money for food, so they need to figure out how to eat the monsters going down.
That's a concept.
That premise has promise. Okay.
Freyren Beyond Journey's End, which is...
That's too long.
In my opinion, this is going to be the one that will probably end up winning. It is sad. It's another fantasy anime. It's about an elf lady and the fact that elves are immortal, therefore time passes for them faster. So it's literally just about how her companions like get old and die. Yeah. It's
okay. A24 presents.
Yeah, it's like those like those emotional Doctor Who's. Kaiju number 8, so you can consider that a given, or you can rewatch it. Your choice.
I'll rewatch 2 episodes.
What the hell did I watch? I remember Mushroom Guy. Mushroom Guy was creepy.
They're all creepy because I hate that animation, but we'll get into that.
Solo Leveling, which is, like I said, it's another RPG isekai. It's not an isekai because it's about like the fantasy world invading our current world. It's really weird.
So it's Bastard. That's Bastard.
Sort of. Except it's really edgy and not very good. And granted, Bastard also...
Which one are you talking about?
It is definitely not as horny as Bastard is. It is nowhere near as horny as Bastard is.
Let's do the thing that sets you apart.
And the last one is the Apothecary Diaries, which is basically What If House, but in feudal Japan, and it's bad. I have watched a single episode of it, and it made me want to claw out my own eyes.
Oh my god, that looks terrible.
Sounding.
That is not for me.
Feudal Japan house. So you're coming in with sick to me, but I'm still like this encyclopedia of medical knowledge.
Yes.
What is it going to go?
No
rubble leaf on it? Please show me the medical technology we have in feudal Japan.
Hillary in a kimono still has a cane. It's still lupus.
So you guys need to watch at least 2 episodes of each of those, except for Kaiju, because we already fucking watched it. And like I said, if you like it, feel free to watch more, because I am going to try to at least watch the first season of every single one of these. And you're definitely going to know when I get to the Apothecary Diaries, because I will literally die of boredom.
This will be the last episode of the Anthony Pecoraro obituary.
I offered sports anime. I was going to give you the choice between Keijo and Initial D and Hajime no Ippo, but no.
I don't know what any of that means.
So Initial D is one that's about drifting. Like, it's about cars.
Yay, Tokyo Drift.
Keijo is a horny anime about sports. The sport itself is horny.
And sport? The horny sport.
It's its own. It's like 2 ladies face each other on a platform in water, and they can only use their boobs or butt to knock each other off the platform.
It's a real sport.
It is not a real
Okay.
sport.
I know it's an anime. It is. A real sport.
I wouldn't put it past
It's as
people to make
it's
that a
as
real
it's
sport.
it is as much a sport as slam ball is. In that I do not doubt that people play it, but I would not exactly call it mainstream.
Coming to a gentleman's club near you.
If cheerleading is a sport, so is this one.
Coming to a gentleman's club near you and broadcast on Axis TV.
And Hajime no
I missed that
Ippo
about
is
cable.
boxing. It is a boxing anime.
Japanese Rocky.
But we're not
Dang
going
it,
to do
I really
sports
like
next time. We'll figure something out after the anime awards. But if I survive up until May, if I'm watching... Why did you need to put that... Why did you need to give me that number, Joey? Of 72?
You're the one that sets the challenge out, so everyone's got their challenges to do in life.
I'm the anime expert. I need to do this, and I'm currently
I had to drink a gallon of water a day every day for 2.5 months. You can.
I'll just go to Minnesota unemployment. It's like, what are you doing in your job search? Well, I can't do too much because I'm watching so much anime right now.
Amy.
Minnesota unemployment is great. They are very understanding people. But anyway, that is Animesplaining for April here. We will be back with the anime awards. We'll also know who won in literally a week. So, hooray, hooray.
Yes.
Spoiler, it's probably going to be one I like and the other two don't.
You're just going to love the Apothecary Diaries. You're going to get a t-shirt.
It's absolutely going to win.
Watch me actually like this show. Probably because the opening song is good.
The opening song for Apothecary Diaries is good?
Maybe, I don't know.
It might be.
It could be, yeah. Let's give it a chance,
I mean,
Tony.
we got Limp Bizkit for Devil May Cry, so anything could happen.
Oh,
we got,
God,
like,
Devil May
Evanescence over
Cry.
here. Freaking Papa Roach.
I've seen one clip of Devil May Cry, and it made me want to never watch it ever. Which is, like, Dante heals after being shot, and he's like, oh, I heal really quickly, kind of like a superhero, but I wouldn't call myself a superhero. But your mom would.
Oh, my
like,
God.
Ah!
Gucci.
And then he uppercuts the guy and says Shoryuken. That is what you are dealing with the Devil May Cry anime.
So in other words, we're watching that in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me watch an Adi Shenkar production?
Because apparently we have to be culturally relevant. Can't just watch the obscure Ghost in the Shell.
Let's just live in the 90s. I feel safe here.
I don't want to leave. Gen Z is scary.
We'll just start watching One Piece. We'll get there eventually. One Piece is a modern anime now. We just need to get through 1,000 episodes.
Oh, this thing could be argued for Dragon Ball Z at this point.
Yeah, now there's Dragon Ball Daima, which is their kids again.
Just don't make me watch that show. That's my only request.
There's a new Gundam.
No Dragon Ball Z.
There's a new Gundam out, and I watched the first episode, and it was okay.
This I feel is every anime ever.
Well,
at an episode, it was. Yeah, I'll probably watch it again.
At the end of the day, if you watch every one of something in entertainment or read every book, by the law of averages, most of them will be fine.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's the problem with anime, is most of the time you just need to really go.
Well, you gotta watch the trash. The trash makes you feel alive.
Yes. Yes, we are just anime raccoons, just rifling through,
just rummaging through. Just the coyotes looking for dead.
I'm now changing the name of Animesplaining to Anime Coyotes. We eat anime butthole first.
once they're fresh anime carcasses, we'll eat them.
Anyway, time to hit stop streaming. We'll be back with Anime Awards bullshit in May sometime at some point.